Hello, my Astro family. This is Lada from astrolada.com. Today, here with the sensational Babylonian and sidereal astrologer Trifon Nikolov with important updates about the virus and how things are going to progress in the future, plus a focus on the month of May. Hi, Trifon.
Hello, everybody. Here I am again. And there are very important things to be said for this month, and not only, also for the year. So I don't know even where to begin from, but let's start. For a beginning, the first sign for the month is the first appearance of the moon after the conjunction with the sun. This was considered to be the first sign for the month in ancient time. And we had this month appearance of the moon in Taurus in conjunction with Venus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it seems very good, right?
Yeah,
So,
but it's not, is it?
so it is good. In fact, many people received even finances this year already from money that they didn't work for, like from the governments. Others don't. So it depends. Also, it's personal, but this month is much connected with the energy of love, of course, because of this conjunction. So this is very good. Love somehow is there in the air. More harmony is present. However, there are some details, so to say, about this conjunction, and it is when it is applied, the technique when I accept the moon to be the ascendant, Venus will be the ruler of the sixth house.
Mm-hmm.
This way, this conjunction also shows the continuation of the troubles that we are witness for, and active health-related issues for the world in general.
Mm-hmm.
But Venus also is a planet that will give also healing. So it's not showing only problems, but also some good things. It would have been much worse if as a ruler of the sixth house from the moon was other planet like Mars or Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
So other things, as I said, it's very complex. First, in the previous video I talked about the part of sickness being on the ascendant of the world because of the conjunction of Saturn and Mars. So if you remember, Saturn and Mars being in conjunction, they produce a certain Arabic part, that is always on the ascendant. So no matter where you are on the planet, this part is always rising on the ascendant if Saturn and Mars are together, which means, again, troubles. However, after a couple of days, this will cease.
Yay.
Yeah, Mars will move on to the next sign in Aquarius after a couple of days, and this means that the part of sickness will be not anymore on the ascendant, which definitely is a sign also of some relief from health-related problems for the world, definitely. However, Mars coming to Aquarius shows the beginning of a massing of social tension. So then we can expect much more protests, much more people on the streets for the next 2 months. As Mars will be the planet of conflict in the sign of freedom, so there will be conflict for freedom, of course. So it's coming soon. Even in the beginning, in the entrance, only in a couple of days, we will see that this will be much more intensified. We will see it on the news, I think. directly. And so this is second thing, and there is another that maybe is the first one. In fact, while I was analyzing throughout the month different things, I remind myself again about the one Vedic astrology combination that exists in the sky. This combination is called Kala Sarpa Dosha or Kala Sarpa Yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Kala in Sanskrit means time, Sarpa means snake. So it's like the combination of the snake of the times or something like that, like rough translation. What it's meant here, the snake that is meant is in fact the dragon. The dragon, as it is known in European astrology, the dragon, this is the axis of the north node and the south node.
Mm-hmm.
So the north node is the head of the dragon and the tail is the south node. So, and the definition of the combination is that when all the planets are on only one side of the axis, as it is the case right now, and it is so since the end of February, around 25th,
Mm-hmm.
checked. So the definition for this is, and I have talked before, like previous years about it, when it happened, and the definition is that it is giving much more cruel events and mortality. It is considered that this is a time of much more mass mortality and cruelty happening in the world in general.
It's like the dragon is released on Earth.
Yeah, all the planets are like in difficult situation
Mm-hmm. They're under the rules
because of the dragon. The dragon is cornering them, so to say.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's much more free to act, so to say. This is the
So it's like
symbol of the dragon.
Satan is stronger to act, the type of thing, because the dragons are demons in ancient astrology, both of them.
Yes, the axis of the nodes in India, for instance, is considered to be representing a demon, which in the legend about the dragon is called a legend connected, the legend for the churning of the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and Rahu and Ketu. And it is considered to be a demon that was defeated only with the involvement of the sun and the moon. So this combination is present. It is, however, also something good because it will be not so much more. So in the end of the month, namely on 24th of May, first the moon will make interruption of the combination, but this is happening every 2 weeks, so I will not consider it to be so strong. And only a couple of days later, towards the end of the month, beginning of the next, Mercury will move. Mercury first will go in conjunction with the North Node, with the head of the dragon. In this way, he is overcoming the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So he will be overcoming the dragon, and we can accept that for the time when Mercury is in Gemini, which is for the most part in June, this process of overcoming the dragon is in motion.
Wow.
And
Does it mean that Mercury-related people will overcome the dragon, like on Earth?
yes, yes, of course.
Like
Things
journalists.
related to Mercury.
People. Yeah.
It's not only people, maybe, right? Mercury can symbolize many things. But also, of course, the people who are on the intellectual side of things, including medicine workers and scientists, Mercury symbolizing them. So in June, they will be able to at least make things much better. This can be also explained as a natural process that just shows that the mortality and the problems will go away.
I've also heard that Kala Sarpa Yoga causes restriction, and we've been all restricted, like you're cornered. So we've not been able to go out of home and things. So it's probably will be ending towards the end of May as well.
Yes, exactly. There are many like NATO meanings of the combination, and one of them is to have much more troubles, to be unable to develop yourself in life. But the main meaning is that cruelty and mass mortality. So it will go away. It is very interesting that it is coinciding. It is coinciding with the time of the real mortality that happened, because exactly in the end of February started the crisis in Italy with much mortality there. And so we have really great hope that those things will be reduced much in the end of this month and throughout June. And however, there is also something else, that this combination will be present again, but in the end of the year, beginning with 30th of December. So this can be proved as eventually to be temporary, and we can have another winter like that, but the winter that is coming, like the first 3 months of the next year will be having this combination again, exactly from the 30th of December till 22nd of March, I checked.
Again, you mean like a lockdown?
So yes, it's possible to happen even the same or worse situation.
Oh.
This is in that time. However, now the ceasing of the combination must show a better situation for everybody really soon. So what else is there? Many things that I talked about, because this month is full with so much important events, and namely, we have 3 planets going to be retrograde.
Yippee!
So, of those 3 planets, first we will begin with Saturn. Saturn on the 10th of May is becoming retrograde. And all these planets becoming retrograde, we can interpret them as also the process of the governments to try to reverse things, to go back to normal. Yes, so they will definitely try, and very soon. However, also this has many other meanings. So Saturn, meaning that he will be retrograde. So maybe they will try to restart the businesses again, the workplaces again. But personally, for everybody, the planets becoming retrograde also is a kind of going back to normal. But also this will be with problems, with slow development. And there is the danger that this can be showing also health issues for some special people, because the retrograde planets will rule the houses of health for certain people. Like first on 10th of May, people who have ascendants, let's see what they are, like Virgo in sidereal.
That's Leo tropical.
No, this is Libra tropical.
Libra tropical, yeah.
Libra tropical. And also Leo in sidereal, which is Virgo in tropical. So Virgo and Libra ascendants in tropical.
Why would that be?
Because it's moving 23 degrees further. The sidereal has this difference. So if you have a position like, let's say 25 degrees tropical areas, it will be, in sidereal, it will be like 2 degrees areas going backwards.
Okay.
However, this is the first people who can have some moments of going back to work, because Saturn is ruling their 6th house, and however also possible health issues. Both things can be there, of course, not necessarily simultaneously for everybody, but much more significant probability is there for having health issues when the ruler of the sixth house is becoming retrograde than in other times of the year. So this is something that happens every year, okay? So it's not something that you necessarily must fear too much. But because of the situation, it's good to know. And very soon after that, the same things will happen with Jupiter. Jupiter becomes retrograde on 13th of May. So it will give similar events for people who have Jupiter ruling their sixth house, which is, to say, ascendant Cancer in sidereal, which is equal most of the cases to Leo in tropical. So this is one thing. And also the ascendant Libra in sidereal, which is in tropical, most of the cases Scorpio. This is on 13th of May. So we have already almost, so we have here like almost 40% of the people only with this. But the same day, Venus also becomes retrograde, creating the same situation for other two signs. This will be, so let's see. For Taurus ascendant in sidereal, which is Gemini in tropical. And for Scorpio ascendant in sidereal, which is Sagittarius in tropical astrology. And here you see that half of the signs will have this, like 50% of the people will have this process. So then we can expect that this middle of the month is a much more problematic time regarding health than usual in any other time of the year because of these mass configurations that are going on. Something else also is going on. Remember when we talked that the star Betelgeuse has given us a sign for the crisis with losing its light, because Betelgeuse is connected with the destructive powers of the highest forces possible, and because of this, this was a bad sign. However, Betelgeuse now is about to become invisible star for a couple of months. So Betelgeuse is disappearing. This is also equal to more problems in the middle of the month, as Betelgeuse is supposed to be disappearing in the middle of the month. So this is coinciding with the retrogradation of the planets. So always pointing that the period between the 10th of May and 16th of May is more problematic than usual. But the disappearance of Betelgeuse also can mean, again, because of the destructive associations with this star, that as a result later, soon, there will be less destructive energy in the world in general. So this is another sign that the things will go better. So let's also indicate some important other moments. Of course, I will not give too much explanation for every retrograde planet what it means, because on other levels, you know, Saturn becoming retrograde means much more events that will make us see our own fears and limitations. Jupiter retrograde will make us see, look deeper in ourselves to search for the truth, for inner meaning. and Venus becoming retrograde, of course, this will give love problems. And we will have
Everything
to,
is fact.
yes, and we will have to go back to resolve problems from the past for many things because of these planets going retrograde.
Mm.
But this is also good because it means that we will have the possibility to do it.
Yes.
So this is also good. It will be there. So what else? I noticed also that between the 20th of May and 22nd of May, two malefic stars are strong, namely Hamal and Sheat. So these are bad days. Better not to go outside or do important things. Which, however, will be changed after that. The quality of time will change around 26th of May, when a spiritual star is rising. On the 26th of May, a spiritual star is rising. So this spiritual star is supposed to bring back much more healing and helping energy in the world, and also spirituality, compassion, kindness, and understanding to become much stronger. And also people who are spiritual will become also stronger. This is from the 26th of May. And if you want to know which is the star is called Fomalhaut, one of the four royal stars of the tradition of ancient Persia. So this star is extremely important, and she is rising on 26th. So 26th can be immediately accepted as very good day for spiritual practices of every kind. So you can do it at that time. So let's talk also now about something that I missed for now, which is extremely important. And this is the condition of Venus. We notice that she's about to become retrograde. However, she's in a complex situation because she's first in Taurus, in sidereal Taurus. She's in the constellation. You can see it with your applications or literally with your eyes. Around sunset, you'll see one very bright star above the horizon. This is Venus. And she is there in the end of Taurus, in the middle of the last decade of the sign. And so in Taurus, she is strong. She promotes love, sexuality, finances, many good things there. But at the same time becomes retrograde. So she will become less effective for a month starting with 13th of May. And however, she will become even less effective in the last day of May, 29th.
Becomes invisible.
When she becomes invisible. So she will be both retrograde and invisible in that time. So I'm assuming that immediately the 13th of May and later 29th of May are different stages of having more relationship troubles for the people around the world, especially the younger and the more beautiful women also can feel not so well in their lives with different events. Of course, important matters related to love itself will manifest in these times, and they can be not so pleasant, like realization about problems or having different situations and conflicts. And because of this, women in those moments, especially from the 29th of May till around 11th of June, when Venus is invisible, should try not to make important things, new decisions, or, of course, new relationships. Avoid new relationships in this time frame between 13th of May and, let's say, around 25th of June, because Venus will become direct around that time. So if you don't want to have a retrograde and invisible planet in a relationship, which will mean
A shifty, dodgy
Definitely,
bastard.
definitely not good things. Probably it will mean just that the relationship will not happen at all, or it will be very difficult.
You see, but some people have told me they
Yeah.
met their soulmates during Venus retrograde. I don't know if they're still together though. When people say, oh, I met my soulmate, it's someone they're longing for that it never happened with.
Of course, when it is what is a destiny, it must happen. But then it will mean that let's assume that they will meet someone in the middle of the month, but the disappearance of Venus after a couple of days, 15 days, will mean that this relationship will last, in the best possible case, 15 years. And then somehow it will be destroyed, most probably. So definitely it's not so good time. In many, this is only in the best cases. In the many other cases, this will be not years, but it will be months or days.
Mm.
So
Till Venus disappears by kind of month or week counting, whatever. Yeah.
yes, in astrology, you know, a day can be equal to a year. It can
Yeah.
be, however, equal also to month or week.
Yeah.
Depends on the quality of time for in a different in a
Time.
certain special moment in the day and in the time. So depends. But as you can see, this is not very good moment. So about Venus, I will have, as I told you, there are many things. So Mercury has been visible for a very short time in the end of last month, and again disappeared. This is natural for him. That's why he has as his metal a symbol of changeability, Mercury, and named after him. And Mercury is invisible again in this moment.
Till
He is
when?
invisible. And if you remember, Mercury is connected with the condition of the lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So this, in some mystical way, can mean that more people will have troubles with breathing till the middle of the month and less after that. But still in the middle of the month. Why? Because Mercury is appearing on around 13th of May again, 13th of May. So, however, his appearance right in this moment, of course, it will have beneficial results later, but in the moment when he's appearing, he will have some really bad associations. Because of this, I will immediately say that 13th of May and the day plus minus 1 day around that day is definitely not a good time to travel at all. And even to make any kind of dealing or new contracts. Why? Because Mercury is appearing in Taurus, but in such degree in Taurus that is suspected by some stars in this place, and these are the Pleiades.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pleiades have the nature of Mars and the Moon, and they were known in ancient Mesopotamia with the name the Seven Demons. So the fact is that they have some Martian type of nature, and they can, because of this, represent accidents, anger, conflicts, and even mortality, as is some of the indications for these stars from ancient manuscripts. So this is a bad time. And this is even, if not enough, there will be also a square of Mars to Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
So I will predict immediately that accidents will be much more present in that time, including involving like bigger machines like trains, and in that time. So
Traveling.
yes, so people who are ruled by Mercury in that day can have like nervous problems. They can have big conflicts. So everybody be careful to preserve your nervous system around 13th of May, because you will see it will be more tense. However, later, because Mercury will be visible for around 20 days, it is a good time for searching new things, for making new contracts. But this is later, not around 13th of May. A couple of days
After.
later is the better time.
And how long will Mercury stay visible this time? For 20 days, you said.
Yes, around 20 days.
Till about the end of the month type of thing. No, the start of June.
No. It will become, I have to check, but I think it is becoming invisible again around 10th of June.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere there. So it will give good amount of time of visibility. But it's important because he was not so visible a long time. So long time he was not visible for the I can say the entire winter and the spring so far. So it's really, really important for many people who are ruled by Mercury, like people of who are working with their intellect, like journalists, like traders, writers, everybody who are connected with Mercury, even the medical workers ruled by Mercury. This will be a better time, and it will represent much relief. However, starting with some kind of a crisis in 13th of May. This will give the sign for this new quality of time. For this. So
Mercury becoming visible will strengthen our lungs as well, won't it?
yes, definitely. This is the first thing.
And that's when they roll out 5G too.
Yes. Probably the internet connection also will become somehow better after experience some crash on 13th of May, let's say. So we'll have better connection, better communication, more traveling, more socializing because of Mercury becoming visible.
Yes,
so because of this,
finally.
we accept much more movement around. So for everybody, which of course you'll see it will be quite refreshing in those times. So we are expecting this visibility of Mercury in the beginning will be like more challenging, but later much better for everybody. So as you can see, this month is in fact representing many changes. Many changes are happening with almost all the planets. So the only planet that can be said is it is steady. So there are of course three planets. This is the Sun, never becoming invisible, right? Except on eclipse, and Mars. Sun and Mars are strong. So people who are connected with them, like being in the military, in the police, they generally, as you can see, they didn't lose their jobs or something like that.
No, yeah.
So they are still stable. Of course, Mars one day will change its conditions, so for them also will come different time. But the Sun, of course, it is connected with people on the highest possible places. So this is normal. So the Sun and Mars are strong, and the people who are ruled by them too in this time. Like politicians, like firefighters, policemen, and people in the military, they're, let's say, okay, at least much better than most of the others. And so
when will, okay, just quick question, do you see a financial crash, or do you see like hyperinflation coming? Or
okay, as you can
not
imagine,
this month, but I'm just asking you further down.
Okay, yes, fine. The previous video in the last month, I mentioned that in the middle of this month, there is quite possible to be big changes in the market. Because first, the ancient texts are saying that when Saturn is becoming retrograde, there can be a crisis on the
But it's
market.
every year it becomes retrograde.
Yes, it's not necessarily to be something big, but this time we have not only Saturn, we have three planets at the same time making retrograde movements. So I'm assuming immediately that there will be a big change in the market in the middle of the month, including that Mercury, also the planet of trading, is appearing, but his appearance is not so good. So it's a sign more of problems than returning to normal. So I will not say that there is a big crash coming, but definitely there will be some crashes at that time. 13th of May.
Thank you.
It can be felt also on 10th when Saturn is moving backwards. This is the logic here. So when those planets are in such condition, this can make the prices like to go higher.
Thank you. Thank you, Trifon. This
Okay,
is
I
so
hope it was
great.
useful for everybody. So better
And
times
by the way,
ahead.
Trifon is offering his financial reading because of the current times. Every astrologer is offering, trying to contribute something half price. So wealth and money in your horoscope. It's a recording or live. I don't know how you do them, but it's down to $99 from $200 that you usually offer this reading for.
Yes, usually it's live. But whoever needs it as a recording, he will have it. Also, the live reading is recorded, video recorded.
Okay.
So everybody will have a recording after all.
Thank you very much, Trifon. Looking forward to connecting with you
Thank you
again.
too. Everybody stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God. Let it go. Clean myself completely so I can get high above. I will love you more than I could ever love. Let's be found in a heart.